Hello, everyone, and welcome to the special edition of Quantum Miracles Mastery Heal. How to create miracles today so you can heal anything. I'm your host, Melissa Binkley. I'm a spiritual psychologist and healer, international best-selling author, and founder of the Intuitive Intelligence Academy. I love debunking belief systems that have us all trapped and exploring paradigms that disrupt. I believe in magic and miracles and believe together we can create a conscious revolution. Today, we are discussing the new Renaissance is coming with Pam Oslie. Pamela Oslie is a consultant, best-selling author, professional psychic intuitive, medium, and aura expert. Pam has appeared on ABC, CBS, NBC, The Dr. Oz Show, The View, The Ricky Lake Show, Ayalana, Coast to Coast with George Norrie, Hallmark's Home and Family, Gaia with Lisa Garr, and hundreds of other television and radio shows. She's also been featured in many national magazines. Pam has spoken at the TEDx Talks, the International Forum on New and Science, Fortune 500 companies, and many seminars for professionals in the psychology, education, health fields, and more. She's written 5 successful and popular books: Life Colors, Love Colors, Make Your Dreams Come True, and her latest books, Infinite You and The Truth According to John. She was awarded the Holistic Transformational Leader of the Year Award by the Global Association of Holistic Psychotherapy and Coaching. She has an extensive clientele, including many celebrities, and she also had the #1 show for 11 years at a popular Santa Barbara radio station, which also broadcasts internationally via the internet. She is the founder of Aura Colors, a site designed to help you create success, joy, and fulfillment in every area of your life. And if you want to know more about that, you should watch one of our previous episodes because we talked all about Aura Colors, and I found out I was a violet. And she also developed Love Colors. This is the site designed to help you find love and friendships by matching you with people who have compatible aura colors. Welcome, Pam.
Melissa. Okay, we're both tired now.
Well, you have so many accolades. There's so much to say about the work that you do and the way that you've transformed people's lives and through this work. So, I mean, we have to tell everybody about it.
Ah, you are so cute. By the way, you're violet with yellow, you know.
Violet with a little yellow.
Yeah. There are a lot of violet. So
Well,
hi, Melissa, good to see you again.
good to see you too. And I'm really excited today to talk about the new Renaissance. We have had so many discussions. Pam has been on our Quantum Miracles Mastery docuseries for several years now. And I'm really excited to talk about the new Renaissance and what's coming for us. So tell us, what do you mean by the new Renaissance?
Well, I'm assuming everyone that's watching you speak knows that we're in a shift. It's so obvious that we're in a shift. And every so often, it's like birth pains, right? We get squeezed and then we get a little bit of a breath, although sometimes it doesn't feel like we're getting a breath in there too. So basically we're in a shift. And what I've been told by listening to guides on the other side and higher self, whatever, is that we've done a shift before. We did a Renaissance before. We went through the fall of the Roman Empire, which went into the Dark Ages, where we had a global pandemic, by the way. The Dark Ages, there was the Black Plague, right?
Oh,
Black Death, right? And then we shifted into the Renaissance. Now, those took hundreds of years apart, but if you notice, things aren't taking that long anymore. Everything's sped up, right? So the people during the Dark Ages thought that, life was over. It was terrible. I mean, everyone was dying. They couldn't even have fathomed what was coming in the Renaissance, right? I mean, look, during the Renaissance, whether people know this or not, the earth wasn't flat anymore. They started global traveling that way. The printing press came out. So now people in mass could have communication in writing. So it was a new philosophy, a new literature, new art, new belief, new spirit, beliefs about everything shifted during the Renaissance, right? Well, what I've been told is that we have another Renaissance coming. And this one's even bigger. And not to be afraid, because on the positive side, it's honestly, I can jump to the chase, Melissa. What I've been told is coming after this Renaissance. Well, we need to navigate it by listening inside. Okay. Because it's like the caterpillar falling apart so the butterfly can emerge. Right. And it was pointed out the other day by Bruce Lipton that the caterpillar is a very ravenous. I mean, it destroys its environment. And I remember because I had milkweeds out on my deck before and I had caterpillars there. They destroyed the whole plant. I mean, it was gone. It was devastated, right? So he said that the caterpillars are they're very ravenous. They kind of destroy their environment. But the butterfly has a very light footprint. right? It doesn't destroy its environment. So anyway, they said in order to navigate the shift that we're in, and there's still more to come, we all know that, right? Is we need to go inside. We need to connect with soul, higher self, consciousness, spirit, divine, whatever you want to call it, something bigger so that we can navigate it. And this is the cool part, Melissa. What they've told me is coming on the other side, and I can feel it. And remember, in the dark ages, they couldn't even have fathomed that the Renaissance was going to turn out that way, right? Which was beautiful. They said is in the new Renaissance is we're going for grace and ease and beauty. We're going to be like living, some people call it heaven on earth. I know that sounds weird because we've been hearing that forever, right? But we don't have to leave our bodies anymore to be on the other side where it's all beautiful and blissful and whatever. We're bringing that consciousness onto the planet. So we're supposed to be souls here walking on the planet. We didn't come here to be little worker ants crawling around on suffering and struggling and worrying about where the money's going to come from and how we're going to feed ourselves. We didn't come here to do that. We're kind of being done with that. So it could get more dramatic before that drops because it's an old paradigm. So that's what's coming, grace and ease. And I see people being happy and no borders and no war and just no starvation. It's just like a whole new, it's a different level of consciousness. Bottom line, we realize who we are, that we're actually souls, that you hear the saying all the time that we're not humans having a spiritual experience, we're spiritual beings having we're actually starting to elevate our consciousness enough to actually realize that and live that way. So it's grace and ease.
I absolutely love this because I have been saying this for years. Like I have said, I'm 44 years old. I'll be 45 here soon, and I have been saying in my lifetime, because I said I'm going to be a centurion, right? I'm going to live to be 100. Even though my friends think that that's crazy, nobody wants to live to be 100. But I said in my lifetime, so within the next 50 to 60 years, that I believed that we would see this kind of shift in the world and that we would be walking into this conscious, I call it a conscious revolution, right? I love this I love the idea of it being a new renaissance, that we would see a shift in where conscious medicine would be a part of things, using our minds and our bodies, like telepathy, all of the things that we know to be true, you and I, that we have taught, that we teach, that quantum healing work, parallel universes, working through dimensions, all these different paradigms that some of us already know about and exist and live in, that it would become part of the world around us. And I'm seeing that really that shift right now. In the way that the world is showing up, because I say before every breakthrough, there's a breakdown. You must break down old beliefs, ideas, and habits to break through to a new existence. And we are in the midst of the breakdown, right? The caterpillar goes into the cocoon. I love that you use that, and it becomes mush. It doesn't keep its form inside the cocoon. It's just crystalline mush, blah, 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 right? It breaks it all down, and then it reforms itself and emerges as the butterfly. And so we have the caterpillar over here, who is that's us as humans destroying our earth, creating all of these things, all of this chaos. Earth is on fire. There's floods, there's war, there's, Me Too movements, there's riots, right? Like all of this stuff, the pandemic, everything's happening, and we're coming into this breakdown of where everything that is getting shifted. But there's this huge divide, right? We are so divided in our belief systems, and everybody's pitted against each other. But I've been saying this for years, and my friends are all like, "You're just such a Pollyanna." They're like, "You're such a Pollyanna," and I said, "No, there's something in me. I feel it." I said, "There's this. We are at a critical mass. It only takes 1%, square root of 1% of the population, to create a critical mass to where a whole thing shifts through the consciousness of the collective." And so the idea that you're saying that this is going with grace and ease, I think we've been living in a world, and tell me if you agree with this, where we've been taking everything with the 2x4 method, which is like, say, you get hit on the head with a 2x4 all of the time until we learn. But by coming through this transformation, we get to have, what you're saying, this grace and this ease that we can experience. So how do people start experiencing that right now? Like, what can they do?
Let me say this really quick in relationship to what you just said.
Yeah.
It's funny because I kept going, why is everything dividing so much? What is going on? Why is there so much, them against us and separation or whatever? And then I got shown this image of cells when they're getting ready to grow, cells actually divide to become a bigger entity. And I went,
Oh
oh my
my
God.
gosh.
Is that a bit, do you understand? It's like one cell.
Yes.
It
Yeah.
does,
I mean, I studied genetics and biology in college. That's what was my thing.
they divide so that they become, and then they divide again and again to become a bigger entity. They don't go on their own ways. They don't separate and then go off and do other things. They develop a bit. Is that cool though?
Wow, that's so mind blowing. That's probably the coolest thing that I've heard so far this for doing these interviews this time.
Yeah.
Yeah, mind blowing. Makes so much sense.
Yeah, because I mean, it put it in perspective for me. I went, oh, and of course, I'm sure when the cell's dividing, it doesn't know. It's like it probably knows what it's doing because it knows, right?
Yeah.
But from the outside, it's like, oh, what's happening here?
Yeah.
So that's one.
Okay.
Number two, I have been going to YouTube a lot and watching it's amazing how many documentaries are out there now about consciousness.
Hmm.
And what they said is back in the early 1900s, when quantum physics first arose, first started developing, emerging, that the physicist Schrodinger and Heisenberg and Max Planck, they were all talking about consciousness being basically at the core. Consciousness was fundamental to reality,
Yeah.
and we really were on that. And then World War II showed up, and everything got put aside, and all that energy went to creating bombs, right? The atomic
Right.
bomb. Well, now it's back again. There's a whole emergence with physicists showing that consciousness is the next frontier, not space. So
Mhm.
that's evolving, and that's what physics is saying. Quantum physics, it's all energy and it's all consciousness. And so once we start getting that's in the consciousness. Do you understand? As it starts,
Yeah. Yeah.
growing and growing, growing, we're going to be living knowing that our thoughts create reality. Our thoughts affect our lives, right? So
Hmm.
I think that's big. So that's the first thing in helping people understand how to navigate this. I think we need to be looking. I feel like, Melissa, I'm sure you agree too. What is going away, what has to fall away is that old victim consciousness.
Hmm.
Separate and things happen to us, they happen at us. We're victims of. That hasn't gotten us anywhere. It's made a mess. It's created a lot of fear. So shifting our understanding over to quantum physics, to me, some people are going to do it through, just spirituality or the divine, or believing that everybody's taking a different path to get there. I've noticed some people are going very spiritual. Some people are going to consciousness. I've got the two, right? Some people are seeing that ETs are going to come and change everything, right? Whatever it is, we all sense that there's a shift. So for me, number one, to help us navigate this is to understand that our concept of reality, our old paradigms are shifting.
Hmm.
And so that's my route, is to do the combination of spiritual, what we've been told by people that have had near-death experiences, what our souls already know, but also for me, combining it with quantum physics and hearing that it's consciousness is fundamental. That's a major thing. That's a major thing. The consciousness is actually creating reality. That's huge. All right. So shifting, I'm sure you can imagine the first person that came back and said, hey guys, the world's not flat, it's round. You imagine people going,
Oh, there's
no,
still people out there that call them what they have a name or something that say that the world's still flat.
yeah, yeah, they still believe flat earthers. That's fine. We're all having different experiences here.
Yeah.
But the first time that it took a while for the masses to start, oh yeah, okay, the word, going beyond our boundaries, testing it out, going for it, right? There was a shift in consciousness, which is what people like you and me and I are doing, right? And so people they don't have to just take our word for it. They can experiment themselves. They can go research about quantum physics or in consciousness. They can go whatever it is, just to start expanding and to question the old paradigm.
Yeah, I think questioning is really powerful. Like one of the things that I'd love to is this true? Is this true? Is this real? Right? Like because one of the paradigms of quantum physics, for those of you out there that not don't understand or know, is that Newtonian physics says that matter exists, right? So I have my cup here, and that this is a solid piece of matter, or that I am a solid piece of matter. But what they now know to be true is that 99.99% of us is actually, it's empty space and energy, right? Or it's not empty space, it's energy in that what is like space. And if you were to take away all of the actual matter, I would fit on the pin of a needle, right? My whole body, if you took away all the energy, all the empty space, that is actually the communication that we live on, right? This is like this fabric that we live on. It would be like this. So if we are at our cores, this energy, and we're connected to this field, I call it the God field, but if we're connected to this, then what we've been taught about medicine, and what we've been taught about, our drinks and the way that things work don't actually work. So we have to start questioning, do I see this? Do I see that? Is that true? Is the reality that I'm living at this moment a true reality? I was just, before we got on this call today, Pam and I spent about 15 minutes catching up because we haven't talked in a while. And I was telling her about all these amazing, crazy things that are going on in my life that are really like nuts and stuff. But in the end, I have to, sit back and ask myself that own question. Is this really true? Or is this the reality I've created for myself right now, which I have through my own consciousness for some reason, to be living an experience, but knowingly, like, I know well enough, I can shift that. I can shift that. I could step into, I call it, a different quantum timeline, or Pamela talks about parallel universes, whatever you want to call that. I think maybe we should talk a little bit about like how, like, if we're living in an experience that we don't want to be in, or we're having this thing that we don't want, how do we do that quantum leap? How do we shift into a parallel universe, or shift ourselves into a new timeline so that we can have a new experience?
Yeah, cool. I love this conversation. Melissa, so basically quantum physics now has evidence that there are parallel universes. Okay, so I don't know if people have heard us talk about it before, but I can use the analogy of like TV or radio stations, right? It's just a different frequency. If you're listening to the radio and you're listening on 101 and you're listening to a song you don't like, we know to just change the channel, right? All it does is set it on a new frequency. So now you're over at 91 instead of 101 or something, right? But it's a different program. It's a different, and all you did was change the frequency. That's basically how parallel universes work. And again, people can go Google the double slit experiment to see why they have evidence that parallel universes exist. So here's the issue. First of all, part of the conflict out there is the conflict between old thinking and new thinking. It's internal too. It's a reflection of our internal holding on to old beliefs and a shift into the new ones, where we know that's there. We just haven't stabilized fully yet, right? One foot in both worlds. So parallel universes exist. And in order to shift from one to the other, number one, and this is big, Melissa, this is at the core of our issues, we hold on to our stories. First of all, we believe that there's only one reality or one parallel universe. But look, we used to believe there was only one planet, one continent, one solar system, one whatever. We used to believe that there was just one. And now we know there's like infinite solar systems, infinite universe, galaxies even, right? So first, knowing that there really is more than one universe. Number two, it's imperative, if you want to get out of the one you're in, and this is so hard for people, for all of us, we have to drop the story. We're really good with our stories. We feed that story, and then our emotions. We love feeling. We came here to have experiences, to have our movies. That's why you have so many TV stations now. I think, so many shows like, okay, I don't like that one, this one, this one, this one, this one. So letting go of the story, letting go of the addiction to the emotions that they bring up, because we get very addicted to emotions. Boy, when people are angry, it's really hard to shift out of that. When people are sad, really hard. And it's like, if you're feeling those things, get the juice out of it. Feel it. That's part of why you're here in physical form, is to get the feelings, get the emotions, have the experience. When you're done with it, when you're not happy with it, that's when we have to believe that we can just drop it and create or move into another universe. That basically, as soon as you have a thought or your imagination, you create something, a desire, that actually already creates it. It creates it. Okay. So then all you got to do is align with that one. You have to believe in that one more than the old one. You have to, because they're all real. They're all just as well real, or it's hard to know what reality is anymore, right? Since it's all consciousness. So you have to believe in that one and align with that one and let go of the old one. Drop it, let go, let go, let go. I still think that's part of why they, spiritual teachers say, let go, let go, let go, surrender, let go. I think, to me, that's part of it. Letting go of the old story. And then you use your imagination, and your imagination brings up feelings, right? brings up thoughts, brings up feelings, and then just kind of immerse yourself in it, swim in it, feel it, appreciate it, love it. And believe it or not, that's what magnetizes you. That's what draws you into that frequency, that universe, which is why they emphasize gratitude.
Mm.
Going for gratitude as opposed to feeling sorry for. And I'm not putting anyone down. We all have these emotions. We've all been there. We've all done our stories, our dramas, our sufferings, our pains, our angers, our griefs. We've all done those. It's just now we need, it's okay to know that we have a choice.
Yeah.
Have a choice to do it. So changing the frequency, gratitude, it helps because it lightens you up. Joy, doing something that's fun, it changes the frequency. And then to me, that's easier to shift into a different story or a different frequency because you're not so dense over in this one.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm just curious for those that are really that because maybe you can help for people out there, for those that follow like law of attraction or something like that. How is this different from that?
It's not, it's all connected. Law
It's
of
all
attraction
connected. Yeah.
basically is based on frequency.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Basically, as far as I know, law of attraction means become it, feel it, imagine it, to have it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
Become the frequency that you want to attract into your life.
Yeah.
So, but no. Here's the difference. Most
Yeah.
people try to attract something over here while they're staying over here. While they're standing, we're going to call it universe 1.
Right. Right.
Well, it's in universe 5, but I'm in universe 1, but I want what's in universe 5. It's like universe 5 already exists. You just got to stop believing in universe 1 so much that you're attached to it.
Yeah.
So that's the part that people don't.
I think that, and I love that distinction because what I talk about the elevator theory. What I say is like when you're talking about universe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 or whatever, and like you see, you go to a hotel and they give you a key card, and your key card says, hey, you're on floor number 2, and it's one of those where you have to use the key card. It only lets you to floor number 2. So your belief is the only floor you can go to is floor number 2, which is your universe, right? So you take it, you go to floor number 2, and everything, your whole reality is there. All those other ones still exist. There's still floor 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, but you're stuck on this floor because your key card is only letting you in there.
Yeah.
And so what we got to do is go get a new key card, right? But the only way you're going to be able to do that is to let go of the identity and the belief that this is my key card and this is the only place that I can go in this world. Like I have to, and it's as easy as going back down and saying I want a new key card, like changing our perceptions and our systems and our beliefs so that I can step into this perception and this reality. And the funny thing is I see it every day where I see people living in the same world that I'm living in a parallel, they're in a fucking different universe than I'm in, 100%, right? Their belief systems about what's going on and what's happening in the world. And you know what? For them, it is true. If they believe COVID's going to kill them, if they believe this, if they believe, that they need a vaccine or they don't need a vaccine or whatever's going right, whatever. I went on 80 flights last year and I wore masks on. I got yelled at on 2 flights and had to put on my mask. The rest of them, I didn't wear a mask, right? I live in a parallel. Everybody's like, how did you do it? I was like, I just don't believe that. I didn't have to, I live in it. I said, I think they thought I think I was invisible or something because nobody ever said a word to me and I never put on a mask. But that's because why? That's the universe that I'm living in. I'm living in this alternate, to this parallel universe to other people's systems that are like, this is the way that it has to be. And we're all living them together here in this reality. So I think it's super fascinating.
I love that you brought that up. I've commented this year that's like, it's so obvious that there's different universes going on right now because what I believe and how I perceive life, and I see people saying the exact opposite. And I'm like, how are you? And it is real for them.
It is real for them, right? You can't discount the reality. It's actually true for them.
Yeah. But we got to see them simultaneously. We got to see parallel universes live right there in plain sight, black and white. It's like, wow. So to me,
for me, it was a huge shift because it was a shift from where when I ascended from there's a right or wrong, when I went through that phase of like learning judgment and moving past that, that's when I realized there was no right or wrong and that we were living in these. It was such an aha moment for me to be able to see and say, okay, they're living their truth. That is actually true for them. I cannot judge them or say that they are wrong or that their belief system or what they need to do is wrong because that is actually the truth. And the world that they're living in, that is how they see it. And that is actually true for them. Yeah. And so it made it so much easier for me to live my life too. I stop paying attention to what people are saying on Facebook and be like, oh, whatever,
That's the same. going back to the analogy of the cell dividing.
Yeah.
So now look, every single one of us being that cell, that, do you understand? Then all of a
Yeah.
sudden there's millions of cells that have divided to create a big entity, a much bigger entity that we're all connected. It just creates a bigger entity, right? So we're all connected. So to me, I feel like we're seeing that, which is shocking because we're not used to it. But we're actually seeing evidence that something's going on here, and
Yeah.
we're being able to witness it,
Yeah. Yeah.
right?
Absolutely. So for
Oh,
those of you
but
that,
people need to also hear real quick.
yeah.
I've heard people say, yeah, but if I'm in this universe, but people, are they going to change if I go over to this one? Don't they have to change too? You know, in other words, don't other people have a say? Can other people hold me back? No, because all those people are going to be over in the other universe too, but they'll be different.
Mm-hmm.
There's infinite versions of you, infinite. I know, I always say this, Melissa, it sounds like science fiction, but do you see how many things are out there right now that used to be science fiction that are now science fact?
Yeah.
Just
Yeah.
flight, cell phones, sliding doors, space travel. That was all considered science fiction. It's science fact. Parallel universes, there's we're infinite beings. We're infinite beings. So that means we've got infinite experiences going on too, right? And you can align with whichever one you want. So if you are in universe number one and you're hanging with somebody that you're not happy with, changing your perception of yourself and the nature of reality and changing your perception of them, you go align with like universe number 5. You're different, but you also have to perceive them differently. You can't hold on to your judgment or your negate, blah, 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 blah,
Right.
because
Right.
they'll
Yeah.
keep you in that universe. It's like dropping the story and creating. It's amazing how you'll see people different if you're in a different universe.
Mm. So how can someone that, as we're stepping into this new renaissance, I keep wanting to say resonance, renaissance, and you use the power of this, this, these parallel universes and shifting through that. How can someone use that to heal themselves?
It's the same thing. They can do anything, create money, create health, create relationship, create a job that they want, whatever they want. It's all there. So if they're suffering from health over here, they got a story going on. And again, we've all had health issues, so I'm not putting anybody down, but to realize that we have the power with our consciousness, not our brains, our
Yes.
minds, our consciousness, to create any reality that we want. Well, Anita Morjani's story, where she
Yes.
actually died of cancer. She
Yeah.
died of cancer. And then she came back and no cancer in her body. Within
Yep.
days, there was not one cancer cell in her body, and she was riddled with it. She
Yep.
actually died from it. So it's basically dropping the story, dropping the belief. See, I believe that our health, anytime we have a health challenge, 99.9% of the time, there's a mental emotional issue underlying it.
Oh
I've
yeah.
been doing this work long enough to know that's what's
Yep.
going on. Not and it's funny because people get really mad when I say that. I go, it's okay, don't do victim consciousness again. We're trying to show you that you're a powerful creator, and if
Right.
you can
Right.
stay in victim consciousness if you want, but a lot of times you want to get to the core of what the mental emotional issue was, so we can do that. What caused this in the first place? Am I self-punishing? Am I scared? Am I angry? Whatever it is. Was there fear? Was there anger? Was there regret? Whatever. We can do that. That's one way to do it. That's why we do psychology and counseling and get through what was your childhood like. We can do that. And or the quick way is just drop the story, drop those beliefs, drop any of that stuff that's going on, and shift over into a universe. I do this all the time, sweetie. I've had, stress, and I'll get acid reflux or, sore back, whatever. And I go, oh yeah, I don't have to stay over here. Okay. And I just drop it and see myself in a different universe, and the pain goes away, the illness goes away. I believe that's how people have done spontaneous healings,
Yeah.
like with cancer and stuff.
Yeah, I've had people at my retreats have spontaneous healings, but by walk them through a process, and within 20 minutes, I had a woman that had a stroke. Half of her face was paralyzed, and within 20 minutes, she was going to have surgery. It had been like that for a year. It healed itself. I've had people have healed stage 9 cancer, different things, and it really was working through and being able to step into that new reality and that new person, but in not just visualizing and seeing yourself, but feeling it and knowing. And sometimes sometimes it takes a little bit of work to get rid of all of that identity and those things of the way where you were and the thing that you were going on. So if you have a chronic issue or a chronic challenge in your life, whether it's a health challenge or a financial challenge or a love challenge or something like that, it all works the same. It's like we like really rewriting that, like looking at it and like diving into that new experience and then allowing yourself to do that. One of the ways that you can start to do that is with Pam's free gift. So she has a meditation, and we want to tell everybody a little bit about your meditation for parallel universes for
Yeah,
love, grace, and ease.
this is a free meditation for your listeners. Okay. I teach people how to change parallel universes. It's a meditation, it's a guided meditation so that you can see how to do that. And seriously, once you learn how to do it, it's as easy as changing the channel on your TV or your radio, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah, it is.
free gift. And then, I've got my whole quantum leap course
Yep,
too.
and we're going to talk about that in just a second. So I want you to go to the link below to grab your free gift, grab the free meditation that is there for you. Connect with Pam and get all of her amazing information and get that free meditation. But she also has this really amazing special offer for all of our guests here. She has a new program coming out, and tell us a little bit about the program and the special offer for our Quantum Miracles audience.
Okay. So it's my quantum leap course. I did a weekend workshop. We filmed it. It's experiential. And what I'm doing is helping everyone expand their consciousness. It's experiential. So we do everything from show you how to, on a small side, listen to your intuition, up to being able to be psychic, up to being able to bend spoons, using parallel universes, talking to people on the other side, which is just a parallel universe. They're in a different frequency, to remote viewing, to
Mm-hmm.
healing energy. We do the whole, everything is in that course, and it's experiential. So you'll be able to do it along with the people in the course.
I'm going to do it. So I'm going to do the course because as much as I teach and stuff, I believe that you learn so much from other people, and I love Pam. And so I'm going to be doing the course. So I want you to also check your email and go to the link below because there is a special discounted price for all of our guests here for the Quantum Leap course, which is going to be amazing. I'm super excited about that.
And for being able to bend spoons, and it shows you that physical reality is not, and that's also to heal. Once
Yeah.
we realize that it's all energy and there's nothing physical to us, it's like, then I go, wait, why are we aging? Why are we getting sick? There's nothing solid to matter. What are we doing? So, but if something is happening like that, it's great for you to go to your soul. The only reason we have issues is either one, we've forgotten who we are, and we're tangled up in old stories, old paradigm, whatever. So we've forgotten that we're these amazing we're creators. Or
Yeah.
two, we wanted it for the experience. We
Awesome.
want the experience, one, just for the feeling, the emotion, just go, wow, wow. And sometimes we create challenges to go, look what I did, look what I overcame.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, people that work out or run marathons or whatever, it's like, wow, look what I did, look what I could accomplish, So there's no judgment on it. It's just, it could be one or the other.
I love it. Awesome. So, what is if you have a 5-minute solution, if there's something everybody should start to do today, one ritual practice or thing that you cannot live without that people can start implementing in their lives right now?
Honestly, sweetie, my answer to that is learn to be still.
Mm.
Learn to be quiet because your soul knows exactly what it's doing. It knows how to get you there. It knows what it came here to do. It knows how to guide you. Then you connect with more expansive energy. You connect with more expansive consciousness. You get guided and you get expansive. It takes away fear. It's just, so if I were to say one thing, that's the key, is learn how to be still, because in today's, man, the bombardment of information overload and chaos and fear and blah, 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 that's when we lose our balance. That's when we lose our center. So that's what I do. That's what I recommend. And for those of you, because I do see oracles, for those of you that have yellow in your aura, yellows have a hard time sitting still. Violets need to meditate. Yellows, your best form of meditation is either out in nature and movement. Right?
Yeah, you don't have to meditate sitting in lotus position. I do running meditations. I do nature meditations. I also do, seated. I actually, have like 100 different ways that I like to meditate because of the fact that
Whatever works to be
being
still, to be
still.
quiet, to connect. Because with this shift that we got coming here, we're in the foothills. They've told me we're in the foothills. What's coming is the Alps.
Yeah.
Ah, not to be afraid, not to be afraid, but to navigate it, it's really learning how to connect inside so you feel guided. Because like when COVID hit, I didn't go into fear. I knew something was coming anyway. I got shown that.
Mhm.
I was shown that, I sensed it. But when COVID hit, I didn't go into fear. I saw it. Actually, Melissa, honestly, I think it was a benefit. It made us all stop. Everyone was supposed to stop and go
Yeah.
inside and get quiet instead of running around out there being in jobs we don't like and trying to fill up our gas, car with gas. And it was chaotic. So the gift was for us to get quiet so we could go in there and listen. And haven't you seen this? I'm seeing so many people that they're going, I don't want to go back to my job now. I hated that job.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh
that's
yeah.
exactly what it was. So now I want to do what my soul's calling me to do. I want to do what my heart's asking me to do. So it was a shift, a positive shift for a lot of people.
Yeah, it was. I
And
agree.
other people want to interfere in chaos and blame and it's like, well, that's one way to handle it, but that means that there's probably gonna be another wake up call to get people to go inside and be quiet.
Yeah.
Not necessarily, I'm not afraid of any of it. I'm very optimistic about the shift we're in and what's ultimately coming.
Me
And
too.
we've asked for it in mass.
Yeah, we have. Yeah,
For it.
for sure. All right. So our last question for today is if you could do one new thing. So what's something new that you're excited to do or experience before you pass on to the next realm?
Well, first of all, let me say this. I don't believe we were created to die.
Oh no. Yep.
But
I
the fact
don't. Yeah.
when you said you
When I
think
say that's why I don't say die, I say pass to another realm.
well, I speak at, I have spoken at science and consciousness conferences, and you'd be amazed at how many scientists are going. There are people alive today that are going to live to 500, maybe 1,000 years old. So when you say you're going to live over 100, and not decrepit, I go, of course, where it's consciousness, you can stay in this form as long as you want, or you can shift into another form. So is there something I really am ready to do? I'm poised to do. I mean, first of all, I'm going to be traveling. I like traveling. I like having fun. I like to see this beautiful planet and see people and whatever. But the one thing I'm really looking forward to doing is shifting to a new level of consciousness, Melissa. I
Mm,
know there's more, and
there's
I'm
more. Yeah.
shifting grace and ease and letting things, I'm creating things magically instead of the old paradigm of struggle.
I love it. Yes. Thank you, Pam, so much. Go to the link below and grab your parallel universe meditation. Check out the Quantum Leap program. I'm going to check it out too. And I will see you on another episode of Quantum Miracles Mastery Heal. Bye.